Foo Fighters have announced a new Record Store Day release as the Dee Gees. They've announced a new Record Store Day exclusive album called Hail Satin, I think is how you would say it, under the name the Dee Gees, covering disco hits by the Bee Gees. It's going to feature 5 of their tunes, plus some live cuts of tunes from Medicine at Midnight that they recorded at Studio 606 in LA. This is going to come out on July 17th. Are we excited for this, Dave? What do you think about the Foo Fighters going disco on this thing?
I think it's fun. You got to have fun with Record Store Day, and you got to do fun things. And when you're in a legacy project like the Foo Fighters, and you're expected to do one thing all the time, and you step out of the box and you have extra material outside of the box, you got to do something with it. And I think this is really cool. I think that it's very well known and documented that those guys love the 70s and love all types of different music. So yeah, I'm excited. It'll be cool. There's not a ton of Foo Fighters covers either. So it's well, there are, but there aren't, you know what I mean? Like official release stuff, there's not. So it's cool to get some something different. I think that the latest record is very 70s groove, and it has lots of those pop elements from the 70s that were so prominent. So yeah, it's cool, man. Do something fun. It's Record Store Day. It's something to add to your Foo Fighters collection. I'm sure you're into it. I think you know.
Yeah, I'm very into it. I think the Foo Fighters do disco very well. And Dave Grohl said in an interview that he said this is the easiest thing that they've ever recorded because of all the falsetto vocals that he had to do. He's used to screaming his lungs out. So to be able to soften things up and sing a little Bee Gees style stuff, I think is a cool break for him. And I don't usually line up for Record Store Day. We just had the first drop this past Saturday. I wasn't anywhere near Record Store Day for RST this year, but I'm thinking I might get this because the thing that would get me out to Record Store Day is to be able to get material that you can't get anywhere else. And as far as I know, these disco covers are only going to be on this release on Record Store Day on July 17th. So who knows? I might have to get up early at the crack of dawn and go line up for this thing. And we've been talking, this is our 13th episode of the podcast. We've been talking about Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters for the better part of these 13 episodes, because there's always something new coming out with the Foo Fighters, whether it be Medicine at Midnight or the What Drives Us documentary, the stuff he's doing with his mom on their show about rock moms, the book, all these different things. They just got back together and played their first show in a long time in California over the last couple of days. So Foo Fighters are definitely dominating 2021 so far.
Nonstop, man. We talk about Dave Grohl and something he's doing almost every week. So it's one of those things. It's great though. Like, we're huge Foo Fighters fans. So, and I'm sure lots of people are huge Foo Fighters fans. Yeah. So, what a treat for the last 3 years to be like one thing, documentary, book, this and that. Yeah. Like, it's great. It's awesome. And I've said it before, I think that band will probably slow down a little bit in the next couple of years. So take it while you can get it, man. Like, think of all those bands that people loved in the 80s and stuff, like a Van Halen, who, it was kind of, you never knew when shit was going to happen. You never just take it. Take as much as you can, absorb it. You never know when it's going to end. So I'm all for it.
Did you, I don't want to get political or anything on the show, but did you hear about how there were protesters at their show the other night in California, anti-vax protesters? Because the Foo Fighters show and the one they have coming up at Madison Square Garden this weekend are all for fully vaxxed people. And I don't agree with shaming anybody if they're not getting vaccinated, but it's like, hey, if you want to get the Foo Fighters show, go get your shot. You're good to go. Sure. You can go see as many shows as you want.
Yeah, man. Like, people people can choose for themselves and do their own thing. We're vaccinated, so that's where we stand. We want people to be happy and healthy and protect other people. See some
shows.
So, and go get out and see some shows. So, if you're not going to play ball and you're, what I do feel bad for is the people that have maybe a condition or something where they can't get vaccinated. Yeah. And that's a shame that they get left out of that kind of scenario. But for anyone else who's just trying to be a good person and get their shit together, and I think that do it and come to some cool rock shows. It seems to be the way that it's moving.
Yeah.
I'm not sure,
we're doing just fine.
Yeah. Like, it's one of those things, like, I think it's pretty proof and proven to be safe, and hundreds of millions of batches distributed worldwide in very
Yeah.
few situations,
Mhm.
negative situations out of it. So if this gets us back to a normal state where people aren't sick and we're not worried about infecting everyone we know, and it's the way it is. So yeah, hopefully, it's too bad that they had to protest. And like I said, those poor people that can't get in because of a medical condition or something.
Mhm.
But hopefully this all just goes away and we won't have to worry about it.
Yeah, for sure. We don't want to get too deep into the weeds about that stuff, but
Sure, sure.
it was in the news this week, so I just wanted to mention it since the Foo Fighters have dominated the headlines so much so far this year. But we're looking forward to this new disco record, this Record Store Day exclusive, "Hail Satin." I suppose it will be called, be coming out on July 17th.